Guys, we have a brand new balance patch. It dropped about 10 hours ago in the middle of the night, basically, for me here in the United States. So I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it by now. For those of you that didn't already see it, it is probably going to be disappointing. So get ready, get geared up. Let's get right into it. I glanced really briefly over it. I didn't really read through, I would say most of this stuff. Just glanced over and saw like a couple things here and there, but let's get it started. Light Vampire Noble Agreement Awakened, as is stuns for 1 turn if the attack lands a critical hit. 2B stuns for 1 turn with 50% chance. 50% chance without any condition. Interesting. I actually like that. I mean, he's going to be built with high crit anyway, so it feels like it nerfs him. Less stun chance. No condition, but less stun chance. So I hate that Light Vampire. He's such a frustrating unit to deal with. Unless you have certain units on your team. Like if you have a Rocky, that's a really nice counter to him. There's other ones, but Dark Oracle, Critical Error. Stun chance is now 85% instead of 100%. That looks to be the only... Yeah, it looks to be the only thing, really, for that. So just less... just adding more RNG back into... Gianna, but I thought it was crazy that out of nowhere, the last balance patch, they were like, yeah, she now stuns even if it doesn't have anything to strip, because I suppose people were just countering Gianna with, aside from Hey Gang, which is just a standard counter Gianna now, countering Gianna with, hey, I don't have any beneficial effects. So what else do we have? Dark Asura, which was a very frustrating unit. God of Wrath passive, as is if your HP is 50% or above when you gain a turn, you go under threat state. To B, if your HP is 70% or above when you gain a turn, go under threat state. So a slight nerf to these 3 LDs. Okay, is it the only nerfs, or do we have more? No, Puppeteer, Horse Rider Puppet recovery amount is now 10% instead of 15%. Tiny little, not really super impactful nerfs, but surprised that they actually nerfed a couple things here. Usually they only nerf things if it's like Oliver status of like, whoa, this thing is like way too crazy. I guess SWC made them change their mind. They're like, maybe we tweak some of these a little bit. Puppeteer, Fire Puppeteer, Cycle of Eternity effect added, grants silence for 2 turns to the targeted enemy. Interesting. I don't know how I really feel about that. That's why I say interesting. Interesting! I'm processing my my thoughts. I mean, little buff. Fire Puppeteers gets better and better as time progresses. Megumi, so we have a few of the new collab units from Jujutsu Kaisen and their Summoner's War counterparts. Max cooldown is now 3 turns instead of 4 turns. Fairly straightforward. We have for the Fire and the Dark one, the Eagle. And then we have the Dark one, Domain Expansion Chimera Shadow Garden. That good old skill that I'm only going to say once. As is the 4th hit decreased attack power for 2 turns, is now 4th hit decreased attack power and defense for 1 turn. I like that better. I do. I like that better. Defense breaks. Adding defense breaks are huge. Water Yuji. This is the one that, this is the Nat5. I actually summoned the Water Yuji on, I don't remember which account, maybe the Europe server account. And you could use him, but he's very niche. As his 4th hit decreases attack power for 2 turns. Oh no, I'm reading the other one again. Effect added upon defeating an enemy creates a shield on yourself equal to damage dealt for 3 turns. That's nice, except I feel like he doesn't do enough damage. Like you kind of want to build him as kind of a bruiser, but also he needs to have a lot of damage. I don't think that would really make him let's start picking this all the time for me, because I mean there's so many strips. Like everything strips nowadays. People are just bringing strips everywhere regardless. So I don't think that really makes him must build, must use all the time. I think he's basically going to be used the same exact amount that he was before. But maybe it's just my maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Fire Yuji. Black Flash Maximum Power, Blazing Flame Punch. Effect added increases damage dealt by 50% to enemies whose HP is not destroyed. This could, because this is the AoE one, right? Fire Yuji. I do have Fire Yuji. The skill is attacks all enemies to destroy their max HP by 50% of the damage dealt. In addition, absorbs their attack bar portion to destroyed HP. This attack always lands as a critical hit. So this actually is going to make him better. That's going to be 50% more damage. But I don't know what the condition, like, is it, if there's any destroy HP at all, they're not going to do that 50% extra damage, or what's the, I suppose we'll see, but could be nice. 50% extra damage there. Fire, Wind, and Dark Yuji, Divergent Fist, as is the chance of landing a critical hit increased by 50% for each harmful effect granted to any target. He's now critical rate increases to 100% when attacking an enemy with harmful effects. Just a little nice little buffs there. I mean, I feel like you could just build him with a little bit of crit rate anyway, and then 50% puts him at 100. But now you just don't need any. So, and then we have the Wind Nobara. Actually kind of a fun unit. Strong willpower, passive, effect add, increase your attack bar by 30% if you get harmful effects. So Wind Nobara, let's take a look at her skills. She's the one that does the provokes, and then she does the, she kind of passively does damage to the enemies. Where is she? Strong willpower passive decreases your HP by 5% and the HP of all enemies, boss excluded, by 15% each time. Each if you have a harmful effect when you gain a turn. So she's going to be gaining turns more and then doing some more 15% damage to the enemies. I think that's actually going to be a noticeable improvement for her because 30% attack bar is... I think that one is actually going to be... noticeable in battles. And then what do we have next? Light Nobara, Straw Doll Technique Resonance. Effect added recovers your HP by 15% after using this skill. It attacks an enemy. One of the enemy targets that attacked you during one turn deal 40% of target's max HP as damage. Targets a boss, deals 10% of the boss's max HP as damage. Just a little heal. I don't think it's too crazy. I think the Wind one is going to have a more noticeable buff. Then we have the Pioneers. Okay, so we're done with the new Yujis and Megumis and Nobaras and their respective Summoner's War counterparts. We have the Fire, Wind, and Dark Pioneer. North Star's Wisdom at skill 2. Attack won't land a glancing hit. Oh my goodness. That good old glancing hit. Attack won't land as a glancing hit. Is now this attack will always land as a critical hit. So that'll be a definite improvement for things like the Light Onimusha. Against the Light Onimusha, also maybe against Douglas, although it wasn't glancing anyway. But and then we have the Water Dokebi Lord. Giant Bat recovers HP by 30%. Is now recovers HP of all allies by 20%. That is his skill 3. So that's the one that does the stun and absorb attack gauge, I believe. Yeah, enlarges your body to recover the HP by 30%. Attacks all enemies, inflict damage that increases according to your max HP. Stuns for 1 turn. In addition, absorb the attack bar by 40% if your max HP is higher than the target. Now it's going to do a heal for the whole team instead of just him, which is nice. I like that one. Light Valkyria, God's Shield. Passive effect added when allies are hit with a non-critical attack. Increases your attack bar by 5% up to 20%. Why? I don't know that I was expecting something. I don't know what I was expecting, but I feel like there's other... I don't know. I don't know that I get super excited about that. I mean, he's going to get more turns. She is going to get more turns, but I don't know. I feel like the increased attack bar would be much better for other units, and then Light Valkyria would be better with some other kind of like sustain frustration mechanic. Like when allies are hit with a non-critical attack, they gain a shield. Like that could be very frustrating. I am glad they didn't do that. That would be much more frustrating. Don't give them any ideas. Water, Ryu, and Striker. Mind's Eye and Overdrive passive. Effect added when attacked by an enemy increases your attack power for 1 turn. They buffed the Water Ryu. Didn't they just nerf the Water Ryu like 2 patches ago, and now they're like, well, we have to buff him again because we have to buff him again. Increased attack power for 1 turn. Wow. I suppose he was losing to too many Junos. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have. I'm sure you've encountered that. There's only like 20 different units you can even use in RTA. If you have him and then Juno, sometimes like he's supposed to do really well against Juno, right? But sometimes Juno will just multi-hit and stun and then increase their attack bar and then multi-hit and stun, and he like doesn't get it. Well, I mean, he still would not get a turn for that, but yeah. It's very frustrating when you have him and Juno and then like the Juno, unless you're the one using the Juno, then it's frustrating for the other person. But yeah, there's some of those situations. It's Summoner's War. Summoner's War is Summoner's War. That's the only thing there really is to say. Dark Dragon Decimate, as is attack, always lands a critical hit on light monsters. 2B, recovers your turn instantly when you defeat an enemy. Oh my god. Dark Dragon, I feel, is already very strong. He has been one of the most exciting looking monsters. I'm like, man, I wish I had that monster, but, you know. I don't want it. I don't actually want it. Just seems like a lot of fun to actually use. And of course, I like dragons. I like to collect dragons. I have not fed any of the Duke dragons I've ever gotten on my main because it took me so long to get the first one. I was so excited to get him. And, yeah. Even better Dark Dragon. We got the Wind Monkey King. Some of these buffs are just like, why are you buffing these units? Why not the units that need the buffs? Concho's like, cause go F yourself. That's why. That's why Summoners War community, I don't know. They hate everyone. What? I can't figure out any other explanation. They hate everyone. That's what it is. That must be it. That makes the most sense. Wind Monkey King, Stone Monkey passive as is. Increase your attack bar by 20% whenever... Stone Monkey passive as increase your attack bar by 20% whenever attacked under inability effects. 2B, removes 1 beneficial effect from the enemy when you counterattack with Stone Monkey passive. Interesting. Another one, I was not expecting the Wind Monkey King. Also, apparently I have not read the Wind Monkey King's passive in a while because that must have gotten buffed and I didn't even notice or something like that. So, then we have the Twin Angels, Fire, Wind, and Dark, Horn of Cheer. Grants immunity on all allies for 1 turn. Is now 2 turns. Okay, I'll take a little buff to the Fire Twin Angels. I'll take it. Light Twin Angels, Barrage Shot removes beneficial effect with 50 is now 70% chance. Just little buffs to these Twin Angels. I think that's actually fair, is these little buffs to the Twin Angels, because if they buff them too much, there's so many different combinations they could do with each other, right? Because you're choosing 2 skills every turn. So, yeah, that's too big of a buff would be potentially dangerous. Then we have the Wind Cannon Girl, Koi Revenge passive. When the passive effect is stacked up to 5 times, removes all harmful effects, excluding inability effects, from yourself at the start of your turn. Interesting. But I feel like she would just get, like, if she's got harmful effects, she's going to get nuked before she gets a turn. And it doesn't remove inability effects, which would be the ones that I would be the most concerned about. Could this be useful in, this might be useful in, like, PvE stuff. But I suppose the Oblivion you wouldn't be really using in PvE. I'm trying to think what the best place for that could be. Because she's used here and there for PvP. But I feel like I'm just getting that feeling that there's a place that this is going to be really beneficial for. And I'm not sure where exactly it is. Paladin, Water and Dark Paladin, Fury of Punishment. Oh yeah, let's buff the Dark Paladin. Dark Paladin owner's like, yes, let's buff the Dark Paladin. What do we have? Fury of Punishment, effect added when attacking the enemy without beneficial effects, provokes the enemy for 2 turns. Was that hold on, was that conditional? Man, it's been so long since I've actually read some of these skills that I'm like forgetting if it's conditional or not. I always thought it just provoked. 2 times remove beneficial effects, 75% chance, and provokes the enemy for 1 turn after. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, so it's just a 2-turn provoke. Okay. I was like, did I read that wrong? No, it's a 2-turn provoke. Now, 2-turn provoke. Devil Maiden, Water, Bind Demon Bag, steals 1 is now 2 beneficial effects from the enemy target. I wish that they did a different buff instead of this. She does need a buff, but I wish that they did a different one. I wish that they did a kind of like what they did with Sekhmet. I wish that if she didn't land the demon bag, it wouldn't go on cooldown, and she would have it again. So I wish that was the buff, because if she doesn't get it, then that's just it does nothing. So yeah, I like the 2 beneficial effects, but I think that needs to not go on cooldown if it doesn't land, because I think it's an underrated skill. Oh, we're almost at the bottom. Okay, I forgot. This is a Summoner's War balance match. Wind and Dark Geralt, which is nice because the wind one always needs buffs. First attack installs a bomb, detonates after 2 turns with 70%, is now 90%. Just make it 100%. Maybe it is after it's skilled up. It might wind up being 100% after it's skilled up. Fire Yennefer, which I think we just did a video on that recently, right? As it spreads harmful effects from the attack target to a random enemy target. To B, prioritizes spreading harmful effects to the enemy with the highest attack bar, excluding the original target. That could be nice. That's probably going to be beneficial more than anything else. Slightly beneficial. Slightly or more than slightly beneficial. That could be very nice. Then we have the Light Yennefer. Passive. When the enemy removes harmful effects or an ally's beneficial effects, it used to increase the attack bar of the ally with the highest attack bar by 30%, removes 1 harmful effect. Now it's going to increase the attack bar of yourself and the ally with the highest attack bar by 20% instead of 30, and remove 1 harmful effect. I'm assuming on both. But what else does she do is the question, because I am, of course, forgetting all of this. The Light Yennefer. First off, I have to find her. And then she does the Oblivion, she does the Stun, she does the Silence. Giving her extra turns is actually not bad. Could be more useful. Dark Chakram Dancer. Oh, it's just a cooldown decrease. I got excited. I was like, oh, Dark Chakram, is she gonna be good well, some people actually do use her, but I was gonna say, is she gonna be good like the Dark Boomerang? But apparently not a crazy buff, just a cooldown decrease. Neostone Fighter, Fire and Dark, Relentless Strike, attack won't land as glancing hits, which is nice. I don't know if that's going to make people use them, but it's at least, it'll make the Dark one better. People use the Dark one. Water, Wind, and Light Neostone Fighter. So Ryan, best monster in all of Summoner's War, is best monster in all of Summoner's War, actually getting a buff. I can't believe this. My mind is blown. Why would you buff such an amazing unit? I can't even. He's going on the thumbnail, guys. You know he is. Inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns, is now applies branding for 1 turn. Oh, I was more excited than I needed to be. Typical. Self-all. Spirit Throw, first skill. Increase your critical rate by 30% on your next turn if you land a critical hit. To B, decrease the enemy's attack bar by 30% with a 75% chance. That is the skill 1. That is really good for TOA for new players. Both fire and water sylphs. Well, all of the sylphs, all of them have control basically. So that's actually really nice. Skill 1. So anytime you team up, he's going to be decreasing enemies' attack bar by 30%. Like if you team up with the Inugamis or if you team up with other stuff. It's that is interesting. This is definitely going to make TOA easier for newer players, but I mean, TOA, they basically just hand all the new players enough to do the whole first year of the game in 1 week anyway. So, I don't know that they need a ton of help, but yeah. Asuras, we got 4 different rows of Asura buffs. Water, Asura, constant training, always attacks with an advantageous attribute when attack power is maxed, but oh, that's nothing. No one cares. He doesn't really do enough regardless, so it doesn't really matter. Fire Asura, Asura Seal. Value change. Ease the standard for the number of attacks increased according to the difference in attack power between the target and yourself. Okay. I don't think these are really going to make these used, but Asura Light, Anguish of the Underworld. I think they needed debuffs. I think that was the thing that was missing, especially defense breaks would be huge. Strips and defense breaks would be really solid. Light Asura, Anguish of the Underworld passive effect add increase the additional attack's accuracy by 30%. And then Water, Fire, and Light Asura, Stormfist, value change, ease the standard for the number of attacks increased according to the attack power. So, I mean, they buffed them. I don't know if that actually makes them used, but they at least know that they need to be buffed because no one's using them. They're like, hey, why are people using these new monsters? Oh, I see some mermaid buffs. We'll get to that in a second. Stats of some monsters will be modified. Light, literally doesn't say light anywhere there. Fire and Dark Neostone Fighters. They are making the fire one more of a actually decreasing his defense a little bit by like 70-ish defense, and then increasing his attack by like 60-ish, 55, 60-ish, and then the HP. So increased HP and attack, decreased defense, which is nice. I like that. Dark Neostone Fighter. He is getting lower defense and higher attack power by about 100. So that's nice. And then we have leader skills of mermaids. Let's go. Do we see a speed lead? We do see a speed lead, actually. Wow. Water mermaid leader skill added is water mermaid resistance 30%. Okay, not. It's a leader skill. It's a leader skill. There you go. I can't complain too much. Fire mermaid. The greatest 4-star, I mean, aside from Ryan. Second greatest 4-star in the entire game. Increase attack speed of ally monster and guild content by 24%. This is going to make this unit used, thankfully, because I feel like she's actually a usable unit. She's a fun unit. Her base speed is kind of frustrating, but after people see this attack speed leader skill, they're going to say, oh, I'm going to actually maybe use this Fire Mermaid. Let's see what she can do. And then they're going to test it for themselves. And they're going to be like, that's actually kind of useful. I can't believe I wasn't using this before. And then they're going to not notice any of the videos that I've made on it. Like 10 different videos on the Fire Mermaid. Wind 1, increase accuracy of ally monster by 30% everywhere. Light 1, increase defense 25% everywhere. Dark Mermaid, HP in guild content. So I feel like the fire one and I feel like this might actually make the fire and dark ones a little bit more used for guild content specifically. Yeah, I think that's actually nice. And then skill errors of some monsters are fixed. Just the beast monk, that's the only one. In some language, the term defend will be unified to ensure consistency. So that's it. Who is the winner of the... I don't know who the winner of the balance patch is. Oh, Windobara was nice. The couple of mermaids were nice. Nice buffs. I'm trying to think what else. Dark Dragon, nice buff. I think that's about it, really. I think this is a very underwhelming balance patch, but they all are nowadays. So it is what it is. There's one more 10x10 event coming soon, coming in December. Yeah, a lot of people are predicting that they're hoping that it's going to be like some kind of LD event. I don't know. I don't know I don't ever know what Comp to Us has in store. Sometimes I think they just do random things. They're like, hey, here's a 20-sided die. One of them is going to be some crazy thing. Oh, it landed the crazy thing. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. But yeah, balance patch. And we got some of the best monsters. The Fire Mermaid and the Water Neostone Fighter are buffed. That's all that really matters. End of the day, that's all that really matters. Actually, the Water Dokebi is kind of cool, I think. The fact that he heals the entire team now, I think is going to be impactful. So, anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know what your favorite buff was in the comments. I'll see you as always in the next one.